BamfordRose and another question of the week. This week, taking a quick couple of questions that have been raised through our YouTube channel. This question asks about the number of owners and is it alarming? So just because a particular car up for sale, maybe it's got low mileage, maybe it's a 10-year-old car and it's got 4 or 5 previous owners, is this alarming? Answer yes and no. You have to do a little bit of digging. If the car has done no mileage and you go on the MOT history website and you can see year on year on year it's done very few miles and there is a succession of owners, then I'd be asking questions about that. Not necessarily a problem, but it just raises suspicion that the car is harbouring problems that people struggle to fix, and then the car just gets traded on and on and on. But if it looks like the car is in regular use and there's a good service history and maybe a few invoices that just show that the car is being used a little bit, maybe it's had some tyres, some brakes, a few annual services, and it is often typical that an owner will buy the car and for whatever reason, whether it's something to do with a house purchase, emigrating, whatever it is, you often find people's plans change and they end up selling what is quite a high value asset because they need the money, rather than just tuck it away in the garage and pick it back up again when they can get back to driving in the UK. If a car has a couple of owners where that's happened to, then it's going to obviously start to rack up the number of owners. So no, I really don't see it as a problem. Whilst it's not a problem, then one owner cars are always going to carry a premium over numerous owner cars, and this is because, and I see this lots in our garage here, the one owner cars are just head and shoulders in condition above numerous owner cars. But saying that, when someone new buys a car, they give it a birthday in the garage for a service, maybe spend some money on it. There are positives and negatives for each scenario. Maybe the one owner never spent any money on the car, although that's rare, but you could argue that could happen. So in terms of all the things that you look for at a pre-purchase inspection, essentially it's the condition of the car that you see in front of you, its history, and that is what you are deciding on if it's a problem or not. The number of owners on the V5 isn't anything for me to get worried about at a pre-purchase inspection. It might just be an indicator to go and check for something, as I mentioned earlier, maybe a problem that just never gets fixed but gets passed on through owner to owner to owner. Finally, in that question, it says especially when it comes to Rapide. Well, Rapide is no different than a DB9. It just has a little bit of extra room separating the driver and passenger seat from the rear environment seats. Okay, it was made in Austria to start with, and it's got a little bit of an electronic architecture change to DB9. But essentially there's no difference Rapide to DB9. Next question is, where do I think prices will go in the next 5 to 6 years? It's a really good question, and it depends what happens in the outside world. What is going to happen to fuel? E10 is coming along. What's going to happen after that? What's going to happen to congestion and tax and pollution charging areas? Are these cars going to get taxed off the road? Those are potentially a couple of negative things, a couple of positive things. What happens this year in Aston F1? If there is the halo effect generated off of that, then it's going to pick up all the cars V8 DB9 that came out in 05. I think the V8 and DB9 have depreciated to as low as they're going to go. As soon as you see V8s dipping down to like low 20s and in private sales high teens, then all of a sudden the buying market generates an army of these buyers because they're in reach of people where previously the cars were out of reach. And then all of a sudden demand is more than the cars available in the marketplace, and then you see prices in the marketplace adjust themselves. And now it's pretty difficult to pick up a good private sale for low 20s, where in worse times than now I've seen cars at high teens. So I don't think they're depreciating any further than where they are now. They're only ever going to go up. And if you're a petrol head like me, then you'll realize that we are in the swan song of the internal combustion engine, and whether it is in 2 wheels, 4 wheels, or a pair of wings, we're just going to burn as much petrol as is possible over the coming years and enjoy the swan song of the internal combustion engine. And I think a lot of people are realizing this, and there is a scrabble to buy your Chariot to enjoy burning petrol in. So I don't think they're going to go down anymore. I think they're only going to go up, and how long they go up for is dependent on all of those external factors that I mentioned earlier. But unfortunately, I think we're going to see the day where very, very upsettingly, cars like this will be confined to maybe racetracks where you take them out for a track day, because they're just not going to be allowed to be going down the public highway. Now that could be in 2030, it could be in 2040, it's definitely not going to be in 2020. So just grab your Aston for the next 10 years and burn as much petrol as you can. Obviously the best buy in 2021, you know, it depends how much money you've got to spend, but a B12 VS, so this is going to be the 7-speed sport shift car, they are cracking value. Very best end of the line DB9 GT, cracking car. Or if you are just getting in at the entry level, you know, a 25k V8 Vantage, absolutely fantastic. Hope you enjoyed that question of the week, and we'll see you on the next one.